welcome to We Like What We Like, the podcast. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Greg.
Today we wanted to talk to you guys about some upcoming changes in the content that we're creating.
Yeah, since we're still a new channel, we kind of thought we could play around with the format, and these are a couple of ideas we've been discussing.
So, there's going to be 3 different types of podcasts throughout the month. The first one will be a news podcast, kind of covering all the kind of geeky and pop culture things that we're interested in, or at least that are kind of noteworthy, even if they aren't things that kind of pertain to us, just that we want to talk about, that we have kind of thoughts on.
Yeah, things that we are interested in, or things we might think you guys might be interested in our perspectives on those things. And it can kind of even be an informative podcast.
Yeah, even if it's something that really we're not interested in, but maybe we don't even actually like it, but it's big enough that we feel like we kind of have a take on.
Yeah, maybe it's something where even like we don't like it, but you guys might, and it might be something relevant to you. So
yeah, we kind of talked to like, I'm not a fan of Pokemon, but if there's like a bit of Pokemon news that Greg wants to talk about, we can still cover that. I may not have much to say, but it still might be interesting to hear about. We're just going to kind of pick some things that we feel are the most interesting to us, and then kind of bring them to the table and discuss them.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the next podcast will be a more casual one, just kind of a conversational, and that's what this episode will be. This episode is going to be just kind of us kind of casually talking about the channel, and again, things that are going to be happening, changes, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, this is kind of our free-for-all show that, in this specific podcast, we're going to be talking about the channel because we have news that we'd like to get out to you. But otherwise, these podcasts will sort of be a anything goes style, just discussion of whatever's on our mind at the time. Yeah,
kind of like at the beginning of each episode, we kind of, what have you been up to? What have you been watching? Well, it's going to be kind of that, but like in, more, I don't want to say in depth, but just, we kind of more, telling, not stories, but just kind of catching up and talking about what's been going on. And
yeah, it's really the in-depth analysis and statistics about us that you listen to this show for.
Yeah, it's what you love the most, obviously.
The reason you've ever checked us out.
Yeah, it's really just to get a chance to kind of like a peek into our lives and get to know us better. That's kind of what the channel is about, is you guys learning about us, what sets us, why we're different, with the, the age gap and this and having different interests. It's just kind of a way to learn more about those things.
Yeah.
And then the third one is going to be a companion piece to the quote-unquote main show, which we'll be talking about in a minute.
Yeah.
But we're actually changing the name, or giving, I guess.
Yeah.
The, again, main show, a new name, or a name, I guess I should say. We want this to be a network, so we want everything to be equally important. But the main show will be called Why We Like. Since the network is called We Like What We Like, it'll be, why we like Batman, why we like fighting boys in the bathroom stalls.
Yeah, it's messy business. But
somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, we've just realized that calling the shows so far that we've done, like We Like What We Like episode 1, episode 2, makes them feel more important than the other content.
Yeah.
And we would kind of like it all to be seen as equal, or you be able to pick your favorites. Like, we don't want it to feel like, oh, I don't have to check this out because I'm not missing anything.
Yeah. And so this companion podcast will be kind of a branch off of why we like, and just continue the discussion from that in case there were things we didn't get to talk about, in that episode.
Yeah, it's going to be a little more of a casual discussion of the topic at hand. Whereas we did want to incorporate a little more hard facts into why we like, while still maintaining that it's still literally why we like said thing we're discussing.
Yeah, we originally it was going to be that kind of casual, and then we kind of talked about and even started we were going to go kind of scripting the episodes. And after we kind of started scripting out the first episode, I kind of raised a point that man, this is a lot of writing, and I'm just afraid it'll feel too forced, and we want it to be kind of conversational, and be more kind of story based on our individual thoughts on the subject and memories of that. And it just feels better. It seems like it would flow better, just kind of coming naturally.
Yeah, neither of us are super great at memorizing or reading from a script.
No.
As evidenced by many times we've had it right in front of us and messed up.
Yeah, it happens a lot. You guys have no idea how many times we've had to start and restart the openings of videos.
Just saying, welcome to We Like What We Like, I'm Brandon, I'm Greg, sometimes is 10 tries.
Yeah.
And that's not even a part that we have to script.
No, it's the same every time, and we just can't get it right.
Yeah.
So, I actually recently bought an easel, and we were going to, and we are going to use it for kind of notes for the show. Kind of, we want to make sure that there are certain points that we do want to hit. But we were going to buy a poster board and kind of start putting parts of the script on there. And it's just man, we're going to have multiple poster boards.
Giant cue cards out of a movie.
Yeah, we need a teleprompter, I think.
Yeah.
And that just didn't seem fun.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do that because we wanted to be able to include jokes that we write. We come up with these inside jokes that we want to use in the show.
Oh yeah, we've got just whole lists of material, but a lot of it is so weird that we were thinking man, it's going to take some jumping through hoops to actually set this up for anyone but us.
Yeah. With, the videos, something else we're going to start doing is when let's rewind a little bit. When we decided we were going to start a channel, the first thing that we kind of came up with was a show called Fresh Mark. And Fresh Mark was going to be a wrestling show. All about, I was never a wrestling fan. I never watched wrestling. At one point, I actually kind of actively hated wrestling. And then when Greg and I started hanging out, I realized that he was a wrestling fan. And so I kind of took an interest because he's my friend. But also, I feel like everything deserves a shot. And I was tired of hating things for no reason. And so we decided to start this podcast or YouTube show, whichever one, about my introduction to wrestling. We recorded an episode of a podcast, and then we recorded it on an iPhone that I had and couldn't figure out how to get the audio off of the phone to edit it. So and then we actually went to my first ever live wrestling event, and I shot footage of that we might use at some point for something.
Yeah, we should definitely put that up at some point.
Yeah, but we just kind of decided that we didn't really want to do that, at least not then.
Yeah, it's something that, since then, you've been
actively watching.
Yeah, you still watch it, and you've got the network and everything, so that definitely changes the perspective of the show.
Yeah.
But I think it also makes it easier for, if we do want to do a wrestling-related show, it'll be so much easier because the first show was going to be like...
Yeah, Greg was like explaining...
managing every little like aspect of anything.
Yeah, like explaining what certain moves were, and it was very, and this, and this, and this.
yeah. I'm just kind of reading pages of definitions and like... Oh, I have a notebook. Maybe I'll put a picture of it up sometime where I went through and like timelined like every major event from like 20 years of wrestling, and it would have been a slog, and it was so much work.
And he was really excited about doing that at first.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this will be a fun project, and then I realized that, like, I love wrestling, but, God, there's so much of it that I don't care about. And there would have been whole episodes of me trying to convince you to like something that I didn't even like.
Yeah, so that led to us, like, well, what can we do? And so it was, a podcast or, YouTubing or, we are both interested in filmmaking. I have worked on films several times. And then we talked about, like, well, we like comedy. So maybe we could do sketches. And that's something that we're actually going to start actively working towards now, is we're going to try to do some sketches. And we're going to be doing a thing called Episode 1.
Yeah.
And Episode 1 is basically pilot episodes of fake shows.
Just a bunch of pilots.
Yeah. And some of those we may never revisit, and some of them we may, if people like them, and if we like doing them, they might be reoccurring sketches or reoccurring characters.
Yeah, these, we've already got tons of ideas for this, and as far as we've at least discussed so far, it's all going to be comedy.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll end up being kind of varying lengths and everything. They're not all actually going to be like...
No, not half-an-hour shows.
22 minutes.
No.
Some of them are going to be little like 5-minute, basically like Mad TV or Saturday Night Live sketches.
Yeah.
In the format of a new television show.
Yeah. So that's something we're going to be working towards. But then we're also going to be working on more solo stuff as well. That was something, we kind of talked about in the initial stages of this channel, was we wanted to have, our own things as well.
Yeah, and it was, a part of that too is just that the more content, the merrier sort of situation. That maybe if you don't like this show, you'll like that show. Or maybe if you don't like the podcast, but you do like Episode 1. And so we've been actively discussing sort of what type of shows we might want to do on our own. And we'll still do, the other things like pickup videos, whether they're by ourselves or together.
Yeah.
And just other little one-off extra things like that. But we did want to really turn it into a network with some more defined shows.
Yeah. And we'd at some point, hopefully we'd like to get other people involved in the channel. Have other people create content for our channel. And we'd like to create content for other channels. We'd like to do some kind of cross-promotional stuff.
Yeah, I think, at least for me, ideally, we could get to the point where it isn't just me and you. It's kind of a team.
Yeah.
We've got other people that we can pull in. Hopefully they're people that we really like and we get along with.
Yeah. And then that goes even with Episode 1. We don't want these sketches to always just be us.
Yeah.
We want to have some other people.
Yeah, these beginning stages, you'll notice for a while, it'll just be us because we don't really have a whole library of cast members to choose from.
Yeah, it's hard enough for us to get together to record things. So getting other people in the fray is going to be difficult.
Yeah, that's just one of those things that I don't know when we will be able to do that.
Yeah, but it's something to watch out for. Yeah, we actually, as of when we're recording this, we're planning on we're recording this on a Wednesday. Saturday we're shooting some stuff, and we're hoping to get in a couple sketches.
Yeah.
Whether those actually get released or not, who knows? It depends on how well they go. And
yeah, it's something that we're really fired up about, and we've got all these great ideas, but obviously
executing them is...
Yeah, it's... While I think we're pretty funny, actually, doing this on camera and it turning out on video like it does in our heads might not...
Yeah, good enough to actually release.
Yeah.
It may be something that at some point is just unreleased material.
Yeah.
And we already have some of that, really. We've shot some other things that just...
Yeah. Oh, there's a particular Star Wars related video that I thought was real funny, but definitely was not release worthy by itself.
Well, kind of, talking about this sort of thing, you guys, our first episode was a horror. It was talking about horror. What you guys don't know is that we actually shot one before that.
Yeah.
That just didn't get released. We re-recorded it.
yeah. That was actually the second version of that.
Yeah.
And I think they both kind of had their pros and cons.
Yeah,
I think there were some things from that unreleased one that would have been nice to have.
Yeah, I rewatched it at some point, and there were some things in there like, oh man, I wish I would have mentioned this in the one that got released.
Yeah.
And then there's some stuff that I'm like, oh, well, there were certain things we talked about that deserved their own episodes instead of just, brief moments.
Yeah.
We talked about... I'll just go ahead and say it. We talked about trauma and full moon.
Yeah.
And how we got into those things. And those, I feel, whether they're full, the 30-minute kind of, or, a shorter, I feel like they deserve their own videos.
It's, on that note, too, going back to, we talked about the Why We Like series. We had discussed something, and we're still in the process of figuring this out, but we discussed those episodes might even get a little more narrow in scope.
Yeah.
Where instead of talking about, fighting games, we would be talking about Street Fighter.
Yeah. We want some specific, kind of videos. And some of those may be shorter.
Yeah.
Because...
And that's also just a way to extend our content. Because otherwise, we kind of run through everything in 30 episodes. And then that's it. Now we're on Horror Part 2 or whatever.
Yeah. Which, that's fine. In theory, we have a lot to talk about as far as those things and things we didn't cover. But...
Yeah, it would just... I feel like we would get to a point where we would start doubling back on the same stuff.
Yeah.
This way, by narrowing that scope a little bit, now suddenly, if we could talk about specific movies or specific franchises or specific games or companies or... Suddenly, we've got millions of things to talk about. Yeah,
we just want to, this sounds bad, but we want to pump out content, but we want it to be good.
Yeah.
And we want you guys to enjoy it. And that's why, we've talked about, wanting you guys' feedback. Like, what do you guys think of things? That's why, we kind of mention that at the end of every episode. We would like to interact with you guys more. I was going to bring this up at the end of the video, but we have a contest going right now. It's our way of giving back to those of you that do watch. And we know we have a very small audience. We do. So, not a lot of people have entered yet. And that's fine, Yeah. But if you guys have ideas of episodes or things you'd like for us to talk about, especially in these, kind of conversational podcasts, that'd be great.
Yeah, your feedback is really important, especially in this stage of everything, because it lets us know kind of what to keep doing or what we might be wasting our time on. Like,
Yeah.
if we started doing, I don't know, a show about ponies and you guys hated that, well, then just tell us and we'll quit doing it. And
Yeah. If you like unicorns better, or giraffes, or whatever your favorite farm animal
one-eyed
is.
wonder weasels, just let us know. We'll talk about them all day.
Yeah, absolutely. We do. We want this to be kind of interactive, We do have a few people that, kind of comment on our stuff, and that's great. But we'd like to see more of that, We've been trying to, kind of, comment back to get a conversation started. But yeah, we'd like to see more and get you guys' opinions on things and your thoughts. So these podcasts will be great for that, because or even if you guys have questions, maybe that's a segment that we can do on the conversation. Oh, such and such asked.
Yeah, you can send us in comments or messages or on Twitter or whatever. We've obviously got all the different social medias, whatever you would want to get a hold of us on.
Yeah, if you guys want us to be on Tumblr, we'll do it.
Yes, we will, and we'll tumble all around.
I'm going to tumble with you.
I'm more of a gymnastics.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but we do appreciate, the people that already do watch, and that, like was said, that's kind of part of why we're doing this contest so early. But, it's really through people like you guys that are here at the beginning that we can grow.
Yeah.
You guys really help with sharing and just telling people that might be interested. Anyone that'll give us a shot, we appreciate that.
Yeah, we're always kind of constantly working towards making things seem more professional. That's something we talk about a lot. Is we've bought lights for recording, so the videos look a little better. I want to upgrade my camera at some point so the quality's better. And eventually, the room that we shoot these videos in, we just call it the cave. I don't like the term man cave. It just sounds kind of dumb. But I want to start eventually redoing that room, and we're going to have kind of multiple places to shoot. We may be shooting in front of a video game wall, or a movie wall, or a wall with posters on it. And so we're always trying to up the production value, I guess, to give you guys kind of the best videos that we can.
Yeah, and I think, in my opinion, you can already sort of see that jump. If you watch our first video and then the N64 video, that's such a huge leap in just lighting and everything is just better.
Yeah, you guys should see the first video, because it was just shot on my couch and it's so dark. Maybe sometime I'll throw just a little clip in somewhere on a video so you guys can see that. We originally too wanted to have an opening to the show. And so we recorded a kind of 90s style sitcom.
Yeah.
And it's really funny. It just I don't know,
maybe we could use that in an episode 1 or something.
Yeah,
because it definitely fits that better than it's what you're exactly thinking of right now. It's just a stereotypical 90s sitcom intro.
Yeah, just with our kind of sense of humor.
Yeah.
We're also on subject but off subject. We're actually still working on a logo. We've had ideas and...
Yeah, if any of you brilliant graphic designers out there
want to take a stab,
send them our way, and we'll credit you, and we'll some point, I'm sure we'll make it a T-shirt, and if we do,
we'd like to
you
have
will get one.
we'd like to have stickers at some point.
Yeah.
But then we're also like we still need on YouTube. We still need like a banner as well.
Yeah.
So we've kind of been both working on those when we remember to work on them.
Yeah.
I kind of forget about it.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that's right in front, but it is something we need to get around to. And yeah, like I said though, really, like if anyone out there wants to take a shot at it, if we end up making stickers and shirts and whatever, we'll send you.
Yeah, we can't really afford to pay you right now because we're broke.
Yeah.
we're both not poor. We're not poor, but
we are
lower middle class.
Yeah.
The lower end.
We are fun money challenged.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
So here's something. Do you want to give them a little preview about our solo ideas, or?
Yeah. Do you want to kind of talk about yours first?
Sure. So this is all subject to change because, like we said at the beginning of the podcast, it's all sort of up in the air still. But the idea I have right now for my show is it's going to be called Review. Like review, but separated. Re-view. And the idea for the show would be kind of me revisiting things from my childhood, but kind of through my adult lens. Kind of to determine, do I think these things still hold up? Do I still like them? Do I think they're stupid now? Do I think kids today would like them the same way I did? That sort of thing.
And occasionally I will pop on there. Like if it's something that, kind of I want to talk about, or if it's something like he's like repicked up like a game or a movie, and like I have it as well, maybe we'll both play it or watch it at the same time and kind of come together and kind of give both of our thoughts.
Yeah, those kind of shows, or both of our solo stuff, really. Like, we'll have those crossovers.
Yeah, absolutely. And then mine is called Tales from the VCR. And it is a sort of review show on VHS from my own collection. Movies that I haven't watched. Because I have an absurd amount of VHS that I've collected over the years. And tons of them I've never seen. And so it's going to be me, like, kind of giving you a rundown, talking about what the movie's about. If I can, I will throw a trailer up, and then I will watch the movie and come back basically immediately and review the film, talk about it. And there's some things with that we have planned. We won't really go into that, but there's...
Yeah. It will grow.
Yeah.
Which even something like that, I kind of said on mine, maybe sometime if we're together, we can watch a VHS together, and I can kind of hop on there and talk about that.
And with that, there may be times that I watch movies that I've already seen but haven't seen in 20-something years that I don't really remember.
Yeah.
So that could be a kind of crossover thing too, where it's
Oh, yeah. There could be things where you've seen it and I haven't.
Yeah.
Or, vice versa or whatever. But yeah, that's just sort of a sneak peek of some things that we've got coming up. I can't really give you an exact timeline on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I have a hard enough time as is trying to record stuff, but I'm really working on that, so hopefully I'll be able to crank some out on my own.
I'll help you crank it out.
Whoa. That's too rated PG-13. But yeah, we're really both excited about everything that's coming up and the growth of the channel, and hopefully we can sustain and improve on that.
And not just the growth like numbers wise, but the growth of just the content. The improvement on what we're doing, and getting more things out to you guys, and more on kind of a schedule. That's another thing we're working on too, is instead of just kind of sporadically, we want to kind of have a set schedule as to when stuff is released.
Yeah.
So that way you guys know when to look forward to it.
Yeah, and we're working on that, and we'll put that online as soon as we've sort of got it hammered out. A lot of it just has to do with us also finding a steady recording schedule.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the podcast. If you like the show, make sure to spread the word, check us out on social media, and give us a review on iTunes.
If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure to check us out on YouTube for more content similar to what you just heard.
And until next time, I'm Brandon.
And I'm Greg.
And this has been We Like What We Like, the podcast.